Hi guys and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be analyzing four cryptocurrencies which are THETA, FILECOIN, IOTA and THETAFUEL. We will see where they might move over the next weeks. Please subscribe to our channel if you want us to keep releasing technical analysis for free. While to receive our real-time alerts and our newsletter, then you can join our growing community on Patreon. You will find the link in the description field. Let's start analyzing THETA. As you can see here, we have a 2-daily chart, which means every candle is a 2-daily one. What we see here is actually a fantastic bull run up with higher highs and higher lows. From here, for example, from the 27th of May 2020, we see a fantastic run up from 0.25 US dollar till 14.82 US dollar right now as of 24th of March 2021. So where we are and where we can forecast data over the next weeks, definitely the very first important thing that we need to underline is a huge increase in terms of volumes in association with a very long white candle. Now this is a clear point of control or POC. So what happens is that we have experienced a huge increase in terms of amplitude. I repeat, the amplitude is the difference between the point of high and the point of low. And as you can see here, this candle is much higher when compared with the previous one. So this candle is higher than this one, and etc. etc. Okay. Now, in terms of run up, we see higher highs, for example, here, and higher lows, which is a clear uptrend. Now the uptrend is in a phase of exhaustion. What we see here is that we are going to definitely to retrace over next weeks. So where we might want to buy THETA definitely is a bull run up, so we want to be buyers rather than sellers inside a bull trend. Definitely the best chances to make money is being a buyer rather than being a seller. Okay, selling short. Okay. Definitely, we are going to see THETA over next weeks, hitting the very first target, 8 US dollar. From here, we are definitely going up, so this can be a very first entry area for THETA, or the second one around the 6 or 6.30 US dollar. Okay, so I do believe we are definitely going to retrace from these levels. So what we can, okay, if you are hodling THETA, I do suggest to keep profit of THETA at least for half of your position, if not in total. And then for those ones who are not hodling THETA, they are eager to buy THETA, definitely they can wait this area between 8 and 6 US dollar before entering. Okay, so we are going to see over the next weeks some bearish pattern with some doji and then a long black candle, or directly a long black candle. Definitely we will see some candle with a very long tail. What is happening right now, we need to interpret the chart, we need to understand the chart. What is happening right now is that many retail traders have entered the market, and the big hands, or those ones who were hodling THETA since the last year, for example, or even more, they are selling exactly to those retail traders. So when this happens, or when we experience such an increase in terms of amplitude, then with the probabilities of 9 out of 10, we are going to experience a stronger retrace. And normally what happens is that is a quite fast retrace. Okay, now let's move on. Let's analyze FILECOIN. FILECOIN has an interesting chart. Even in this case, we see a clear bull trend with higher highs and higher lows. What we see, what is quite interesting for FILECOIN, is the number of tails that we see here. Actually, that means that there is a lot of small movement, a lot of volatility. We see a series of hammer, and at the break of this area around 29, let's say 30 US dollar, we experience a strong run up. So even in this case, we see something similar to what we have seen for THETA. For THETA, we have seen here an increase in terms of volumes with an increase in terms of volatility. For FILECOIN, we see again an increase in terms of volumes with an increase in terms of volatility. Definitely, FILECOIN didn't get so parabolic like THETA, so we still have definitely chance for a movement up, but for those ones who are eager to buy FILECOIN at a better price, definitely we can say that this area between 50 and 40 US dollar. I would say 40 even better because we see even these candles. 40 US dollar is a great entry lever for FILECOIN. Okay, so for those ones who are hodling FILECOIN, I would suggest to take profit of part of your position while letting go the second part. For those ones who are eager to buy FILECOIN, definitely we need to wait at least this area where we see between 50 and 40 US dollar. We will see a retrace over the next weeks, and that will be a great buying opportunity because from here we are definitely going up again. Okay, now let's move on. Let's analyze IOTA. IOTA is a very different chart when compared with THETA and FILECOIN. IOTA is a kind of chart which reminds us the name one, and so what we see here, the trend one, for example, what we see here is that after a prolonged period of low volatility with a fake breakout here in March 2020 during the peak of the COVID season, we see right now that the IOTA is broken above this very first horizontal resistance, which was quite important, at 0.50 US dollar. But the very and the most important key threshold for IOTA was definitely 1 US dollar. So that was extremely important. So once we have broken above this area at 1 US dollar, definitely we have space till 2 US dollar, which is our first target, is the target that I've given to my Patreon. So I actually suggested my patron to buy the breakout at of 1 US dollar with the very first target 2 US dollar. Right now, where we are going to see IOTA over the next weeks, definitely 2 US dollar is the very first target. So from here we should be expecting a strong retraces, so or let's say more in general a period of squeezing with a series of candles going up and down. Second, and afterwards we will be, which means in after a few weeks of squeezing, we will see actually the breakup above this area, above 2 US dollar. So very first target here at 280 and second at 30 US dollar. And then again squeezing, and then we see finally an all-time high or the retest of the all-time high for IOTA around 5.50 US dollar. But this will be happening later in time, probably during the summer season. Okay, so right now we're going to face the very first target at US dollar. From here again, as I've been saying before, squeezing, then retracing, break above 2 US dollar, retracing, and taste of 2.8 and 3 US dollar. Now let's move on. Let's analyze THETA. For THETA, I've decided to use the volume profile. THETAFUEL went parabolic as a fantastic chart, but for those ones who are eager to buy THETAFUEL right now, I would suggest to wait to a better entry. The reason is because, as we have seen for THETA, we see such an increase in terms of volatility with an increase in terms of volumes and more importantly, increase in terms of the amplitude of the candle. For THETAFUEL, this is even more actually happened even in an increased way, because we see this candle with a huge volatility, then a small doji, relative small doji when compared with the previous candle, and then a new long white candle breaking above the all-time high. Okay, so what we can see here is that we definitely want to buy THETAFUEL, but not at this level. So the volume profile is telling us that the very first area for a retrace would be around 0.40 US dollar. So we might see even THETAFUEL going more up from here. Definitely I will not buy, and I'm personally not going to buy THETAFUEL those levels, because when we analyze the volumes, we see such an increase of volumes when compared with the previous ones, and when that happens in association with a very long white candle, normally we should be expecting a retrace in 9 cases out of 10. So right now it would be too risky. So in terms of risk reward ratio, I do believe it's not worth it to buy THETAFUEL right now. There are so many other interesting opportunities over there, so I would wait for THETAFUEL. So what we should be experiencing before buying THETAFUEL is definitely a period of first of all a retrace, a strong retrace, and then a new period of accumulation with a zigzag, and then only when we will be retesting the all-time high, we know that with an uptrend, we know that we might break above the all-time high, and definitely we can buy. Right now, in terms of pricing, we are at 0.55. Normally what happens is that big hands tend to sell before a round number has been hit, which means we could see even THETAFUEL going to retest 0.95, 0.96, from where we might see definitely a movement back, okay, because I said 0.95, 0.96, because at $1 definitely the big hands are selling, okay, so we might see even THETAFUEL going up, more up from here. Definitely for those ones who are hodling, I do suggest to use a trailing stop in order to take in profit, okay, to lock in profit in case of a very strong and fast retrace. Okay guys, if you want to receive our real-time signals generated by our robot and our best picks in the crypto world, you can join our growing community on Patreon. Lately we have suggested free cryptocurrencies which have been the best performance over the 300 most capitalized ones. Thank you guys.